Welcome to NIOS live classes. Subject Science and Technology, Class 10th, ISL Medium, Book number 212, Module 7, The Living World. Lesson 20, History of Life on Earth. Part 3. In previous part, what we have learned, let's recall. First, we had learned the origin of life on Earth and also the primitive Earth and atmosphere and the operant's theory of evolution. And also we have learned that what is first living organism, cyanobacteria and oxygen production, evolution of simple to complex life, and also the early human ancestors. Let's look at the objectives we are going to study in this part. Is first, you will be aware of Darwin's major contribution, history of life on Earth. The topic we are going to study is the Darwin's theory of evolution, salient points. Darwin's theory of evolution. Darwin observed nature carefully and developed the theory of evolution. He said that all living organisms evolved from common ancestors over millions of years. What is Darwin's main idea? He said that all living things are related to each other. And also evolution happens through natural selection. It means survival of the fittest. Darwin's important observation. In his theory, he observed that organisms produce many offsprings but only a few survive. That's why population size usually stays stable over time. He also observed that organisms of the same species show variations. And some variations are inherited by the next generation. For example, you can see on the screen there is a picture of explaining the variation of inherited. Darwin's conclusions: organisms face a struggle for survival because of disease, competition, and lack of food. Individuals with useful adaptations survive better and reproduce more. Nature selects the fittest organisms to survive, and this process is called natural selection. Activity 20.5. Read carefully the box given in your book and justify why many grandparents tell grandchildren that they slept comfortably in the open because there were no mosquitoes, and wonder how mosquitoes have reappeared and it is impossible to sit outside. The next topic we are going to start is Neo-Darwinism. He said that living organisms evolved through natural selection. He knew that organisms show variations. It means differences in individuals. But he did not know how these variations are inherited. It means how these variations passed from parents to children, and how new variations are formed. This happened because Darwin did not know about Mendel's genetics at that time. Later, scientists combined Darwin's theory of natural selection with Mendel's law of heredity, or we can say Mendel's law of genetics, and this new combined idea was called Neo-Darwinism. Let's take a short break. Welcome back to our classes. We had learned that what is Neo-Darwinism is. Now what Neo-Darwinism says? It says variations occur in organisms. Useful variations are inherited by offspring, and natural selection helps organisms with useful traits survive better. And also, over many generations, these changes can form new species. Later, more discoveries in genetics, population biology, and molecular biology improved this theory and formed the modern synthetic theory of evolution. Darwin and other scientists believe that natural selection causes evolution. But at that time, they could not prove it. With experiments, because evolution happens very slowly over many years. People thought that changes in species cannot be seen easily. But now scientists have proved natural selection through examples found in nature. The main idea of its theory is evolution happens slowly. Natural selection helps organisms with useful traits survive. And also scientists can now clearly observe this process in some animals and insects. And this chapter gives examples like peppered moth, and second, mosquitoes become resistant to insecticides. There is a picture showing industrial melanism in peppered moth. At first you can see peppered moth on the light colored trunk of a brick tree, and in second figure you can see Biston bethoria on dark colored trunk. Industrial melanism is peppered moth and natural selection. The peppered moth is a common moth found in England. And it has two forms. First is light colored and the second is dark colored. The light colored moth called Typica and dark colored moth called Carbonaria. These moths usually rest on the trunk of trees during the daytime. Before the Industrial Revolution, earlier the trunks of trees were light in color because they were covered with leaches. And the light colored Typica moth matched the color of the tree bark. Because of this, birds could not easily see them, so they won't be able to eat them, and this protection by blending with surroundings is called camouflage. but the dark colored Carbonaria moths looked very visible on the light bark. Birds could easily spot and eat them. Therefore, many dark moths died. So, dark moths remained very few in numbers. After the Industrial Revolution, in the 19th century, many factories and coal industries started in England. These industries produced large amount of smoke and soot. And the soot settled on the tree trunk and made them black. Now the environment changed completely. Then what happened? The dark Carbonaria moth matched the black tree trunk. Birds could not easily see them, so dark moths survived more. And light Topeka moth extinct slowly. So, the light Topeka moths become clearly visible on the dark bark. Birds could easily find and eat them. Therefore, light moths started decreasing. Let's take a short break. Welcome back to our classes. We had learned the light and dark color moth. And what does this prove? This example shows natural selection. Nature selected the moth that were better suited to the environment. It shows that before pollution, light moth had advantage, and after pollution, dark colored moth had advantage. Meaning of industrial minimalism. The increase of dark colored organism due to industrial pollution is called industrial minimalism. What's the main point we get from this example is peppered moth has light and dark varieties, and birds can easily eat the moth which are visible. Environment changed because of pollution. Dark moths become better adapted after pollution. And light moths become weak and extinct after pollution. This is the example of natural selection in action. And the second example, we had seen the insecticide resistant mosquitoes. People use insecticides like DDT to kill mosquitoes because mosquitoes spread diseases. So, what happens when DDT is sprayed? When DDT is sprayed, most mosquitoes die. But some mosquitoes naturally have resistance to DDT. And these resistant mosquitoes survive. After surviving, the resistant mosquitoes reproduce and produce offspring and increase the population, so their young one also become resistant to DDT. Over many generations, more and more resistant mosquitoes are produced. And finally, most mosquitoes become resistant. Then DDT no longer works on them. What does this show? This shows the natural selection. which says that mosquitoes with useful traits survive better and they pass this trait to the next generation, and gradually a new resistant population develops. We have completed our part 3. Thank you for paying attention.